The government.
The
The government.
Help me, Elon.
Okay. So did
Anyway,
you
so
did you get any of that last recording? Will that be put in front of just Matt asking me to marry him? Is there context?
that is on record. We
Okay.
that. Um, and yes, so my proposal: we get married
Uh-huh.
strictly for legal purposes, and we adopt a Dominican.
Okay.
But not just any Dominican.
Can you do that? If unless you're a celebrity, can you literally go to like one country and just select?
I don't know about the selection process. We'll have to do some research.
Okay.
It's not like a set in stone proposal. We'll have to do some background research.
Okay.
Otherwise it'd just be gay.
Look, I am the wife in this situation. I'm bringing up problems that you didn't think of.
I'm a dreamer, baby.
Okay, we get married. We adopt a Dominican kid. Go.
Like
Male or female?
a male, obviously.
Okay.
We're building baseball players here.
It is Women's Month.
And yes. And we ship him over to Japan. And
Okay.
and then we collect all the riches that comes with it because that dude is going to be polite as a motherfucker, going to be respectful, and he will take care of his elders, which
So,
us non-gay dudes who are just dads.
so, so we're basically Britney Spears or Macaulay Culkin's parents. We're just siphoning off of him and his talents.
Yes,
Okay.
but he'll have a rich Japanese heritage. We provided for him,
Um,
and
yes.
he will be exceedingly grateful and know what his part in life is, and that's just to go fucking dominate baseball and take care of non-gay dads.
He will be playing. He will not be playing for CU Buffs, and during the WBC, he will be playing for Team America.
Well, yes, he'll be
Okay.
playing in America, and like, are you fucking kidding me? He's going to Vanderbilt or some shit like that.
CSU's not going to be a top program by that time.
um, yeah, I'm sure they'll try real hard.
Oh God, dude! It was so good. The whole baseball classic was so good.
Their
Uh,
marketing was fucking terrible because I did not see one commercial. Only thing I saw about it was on Twitter
uh-huh.
when you were texting about it, but I didn't know what channel it was on, and I was like, if it would have shown up in any of my social media ads, I would have clicked on it and watched it, but I didn't know. I didn't know when the fuck it was on. I didn't know what channel it was on,
It
and I'm
was
glad
it
I
was always early too. It was like 5 o'clock or
because yeah the rest
7 Eastern.
the rest of the world's ahead of us, so um, that makes sense. But yeah, and then I'm glad I caught the final though. Fuck, that was a good game.
Oh, they've all been like that, Matt. And even if the score wasn't like one or two runs, it was still exciting. It was so good.
McNeil, that was a hell of an at bat there in the ninth
Oh, I know.
when he drew that walk. Fuck, that was an at bat.
That's how stacked this fucking lineup is. McNeil is batting ninth, and he had the highest average in the National League last year. Batting ninth.
And that's wild. Dude,
I
Arenado just missed just crushing it. Like just fucking missed it.
Like it was a close game, but I'm gonna fault the loss on Mark DeRosa, who is a former
Rocky.
no,
Was he not a Rocky?
who is the shittiest? Who's the most hated team in this room?
The Cub.
He was a fucking Cub. And
Uh.
not to have Trey Turner hit third, because if he had, Trey Turner would have had the bases loaded and
Yeah.
Mike Goldschmidt fucking struck out. I'm telling you, dude, that would have put him over the top. I know we could all play, armchair quarterback here or armchair coaches, but I'm sorry. Fucking Trey Turner had 4 home runs in 3 games. He
Yeah,
had one tonight. How the fuck do you not get him at least third or second?
play the hot hand, dude.
Oh,
You got to, especially when you're going up against a team like Japan. Like they're like Germany used to be on like all their sports, where they're just like fucking mechanical, but they're like just you said sound, just like they're the same way, just like fucking robots out there.
I hate him. I love him, and I hate him at all the same time. So last night's game when Japan was on there was a guy who's like known for fucking bunting. It's the lamest fucking thing. He's had 191 bunts in his career. I'm like, dude, you don't deserve to be a baseball player if that's what you know for. Like, it's the easy. It should be the easiest thing you could do. Should be the easiest.
It's the tattling of the baseball world.
it's the fucking kid who tells the teacher she forgot to give out homework during spring break. That's what that fucking is.
It's when you're the pitcher on that, as to go like, especially not like a designed bunt where like you're obviously showing it beforehand, but like those little sneak bunts.
Uh-huh.
I've never not heard, even as a little kid, a pitcher's like, "Oh, you son of a bitch!"
Right. And you know what? Having said that, I'm all for a player doing like a drag bunt to break up a perfect game. I am so on board. You just get on however you can.
No, I'm petty as shit, but also if I'm that pitcher, I'm like, "Oh, you fucking bitch!"
Right?
You fucking bitch.
Oh God, yes. Yes, it's a sad day.
I fucking love baseball. I fucking love baseball. And you know what? The MLB seems like they are trying to ruin baseball.
Oh, they're trying to kill. That pitch clock is garbage.
Oh, it is so dumb. And I know we sound like a bunch of fuddy duds, but no, this is not like just a bunch of old fucks cursing technology. It's like, no, this is like baseball purists. The original game of baseball was so fucking fun when there was like only a handful of rules and then you enforce the others as players.
Right.
I
miss like buzzing them. And this is coming from a dude who's been hit in the head with like an 85 to 87 mile an hour fastball. Not even close to what they get. But part of the game, buzz them a little bit.
Oh, dude, I only got to pitch one time in a game, and we were playing Stanton County, Johnson, Kansas. And this kid, I forget what he said to me, but he said something.
Yeah.
And I pegged him right in the fucking shoulder. He didn't even get out of the way. Like he was a big fat dum-dum. And I just rocked him right in the shoulder, and he dropped and cried. And I started walking to the bench before he even got up. I was like, I'm getting benched. I don't care.
Throwing a ball at a dude you don't like is slightly lower on the scale of like football getting to light somebody up. Just barely though. Because you're like, with the baseball, you're not going to get the concussion. So,
yeah, exactly. Dude, like one of the best games I ever saw, and it was I think like middle of the season type game.
Mm-hmm.
Was Cole Hamels. I was on the mound, and Bryce Harper in his rookie year.
Yeah.
And like Bryce Harper was this young hotshot, cocky motherfucker that all the veterans hated because he, like straight out of high school got drafted
But he could ball.
Oh, he was like what 19 when he hit the big leagues,
Something around there.
18 or 19, and so the veterans hated him, whatever. And Cole Hamels, Cy Young, did he win a Cy Young?
I can't remember if he didn't close.
MVP, doesn't matter. Like he got World Series MVP. That tops the Cy Young, dude.
He was good.
Yeah, he was a dog. Like even as because we were kind of rivals with the Phillies back in the day when the Rockies had that little run. But
man, fuck Philly fans.
I know, but we knew Cole Hamels. Like that was like respect. That dude's a fucking dog. And he goes up and just welcome to the big leagues, kid, and just just beans the shit out of Bryce Harper. Next at bat, Bryce Harper took him like second deck.
Right.
You know what? That's fucking baseball. That was
so good.
Loved every minute of it. Like that, and the announcers knew how to play that shit up, and it was like I was compelling baseball, just like tonight. Like there's no personalities on the Japanese side, but goddamn, can they play baseball?
They're so awkward when they celebrate.
Oh,
it's
like watching a bunch of Mormons.
I was gonna say it was like watching. It was speaking of a good intro. Remember that video I sent you of the Mormon girl, of the craziest things she's done in Utah?
Yes.
I was gonna say it was as awkward as this girl who got asked what was the craziest thing she's ever done at the University of Utah, and it is quite adorable. Let me see if I can find it. Keep on going to the baseball.
Anyway, like that was one of those games that stuck out in my mind just as a pure baseball fan. I mean, like I'm a nerd in baseball just like I am in everything else, but I remember when I was like 7 or 8 years old watching a Tommy Lasorda training camp video on VHS. I watched that thing I don't know how many fucking times. And I'm still not a Dodger fan. Fuck the Dodgers.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, Mookie Betts, fucking McNeil gets on base, fucking Dodger, hits into a double play. Like he swung early.
Yeah. It was such a fucking bad.
Like, take some pitches, dude.
I know. I mean, look at that one where Trout took that 100-mile-an-hour fastball that just fucking missed. I mean,
he was behind the whole time, man.
Oh yeah, but that was a good pitch to take. I mean, it was so close, and that was one I said. I was like, I would have swung right out of my fucking shoes.
Right. Okay, I found the awkward Mormon. I sent it to your Instagram.
Okay.
This is and where this is coming from is this is how awkward the Japanese are when it comes to celebrating. Just cringe as fuck. Yeah, Nito gang. I pictured them saying Nito gang in Japanese to each other. Super duper.
Super duper gang.
So Matt, what kind of ring are you gonna get me on when you propose?
Probably a ring pop if we're being honest.
You cheap fuck.
Is this it? Yes.
I want cock rings, Matt.
Oh, we could do that.
What's the craziest thing that's happened to you at BYU?
I shook a bed for soaking.
So this is why I wanted to bring this up. What did she mean? She shook a bed for soaking. Was she the one soaking, or was she just being a really good wingman and shaking the bed for said soaking?
see, okay, so here's the thing: if you're soaking, you cannot move. But if
Oh,
the bed moves, you can't help it. It's so. I need to find a lawsuit against Evan Haver from Black Rifle Coffee as well, because he called one of his allegedly in this court filing, he called one of his former employees a mountain Jew
okay.
because he was Mormon. And I've said before, like the Jews and the Mormons are a lot alike because they're very legalistic, like Pharisees and Sadducees. And like if you watch Ari Shafir's comedy special called Jew, he's like he grew up in a Hasidic Jewish family, like went to Hashiva and shit, and then became an atheist. But anyway, he knows the Jewish religion, and he's especially he's like, Jews are all about loopholes, and I was like, yep, so are the Mormons. Like, because that deal, if the bed is moving, you're not actually moving, so it's not a sin.
She's adorable. She's just. Oh man, I just feel like that's one. That's one. If she ever gets away from the Mormon faith, she's gonna go crazy.
Oh fuck! It's like what was that? What was that movie with the Amish on Rumspringer? There was like I forget what that movie was, but there was
Kingpin.
No, but that's also a good reference. But it was like one of those like teenage college comedies that right around like 2005-ish.
Road Trip.
It was right along the same lines.
Harold and Kumar. Let's see. God, Sex Trip.
Sex Trip. It doesn't matter, but there was that's what it reminds me of. It's just like the little innocent Amish girl goes nuts, and I'm sure it's the same way with more. Well,
so
Trey Parker said like in an interview one time, he's like, and that's one of the co-creators of South Park. He's like the first girl I ever fucked was a Mormon girl, and so I've always had a soft spot for him. That's why I make fun of him so much.
So that's got to be a thing then. Like I swear, I feel like every year we've done this show, we learn something new, and it always, like 90% of the time, it has to do with Mormonism.
Mm-hmm.
It's fascinating.
Because I'm on a deep dive on the Mormons. Like they fucking fascinate me. Like the religion is weird as shit, but as a people, goddamn, there's some tough, hardy sons of bitches.
Oh, I've told this story before, but I'll tell it again. When we go to Lake Powell, there's the Mormon Trail coming out of the canyon that was Lake Powell.
Yeah.
And to see this, like, yes, we've seen pictures of it, and it even like astounds you, but just to be in the canyon and see and look upwards at that little crack, like they might be God's people. I don't know. Like, how the fuck they do that?
You can't really you do that and you're like, tell me I'm not God's people. Fucking tell me.
Right. You Irish went through famine. Tell me we're not God's people.
Right. So speaking of just like the sheer respect of things, so like we respected Japan for just like their sheer like baseball fundamentals, and like there's no personality. Like Otani's as close as there is to a personality on the Japanese, and he has no personality.
They're like hockey players if they didn't have personality. Like
yeah, they're all the same.
Yeah. Except like hockey players just have, the best trash talk ever.
They do have the best. I don't know. Like, did you listen to Derek Wolf on Joe Rogan?
No, I didn't get to do that yet.
That's a pretty good one. Derek Wolf's a fucking savage, dude. He's like, yeah, he's like, I get in the zone, and he's like, I told one of those quarterbacks, he didn't say who, but he's like, I told him I was going to eat his fucking kids.
Dude, that dude's a Viking. He even looks like a Viking.
He is. Well, and he said he did a 23andMe, and he was like 100% Scandinavian.
Like
Came straight out of the old world, like Poland or somewhere, right to Appalachia.
he's what we call the Hitler wet dream. Is that would that be accurate?
Yeah, essentially, but he is also like descendants of the original union workers, you know, like that fucking waged war on the
Really?
the miners. Yeah. Like
Wow.
his family went from like Poland or whatever, like straight into Appalachia, you know, like into the coal mines and the steel mills and shit. Yeah.
That's why they're so strong, because you got to catch those wild boars so you can bang them.
Exactly. And so respect to the Vikings, but also like respect to the Mormons, because they just carved an empire out of the fucking desert, dude.
Right. Because we're talking another similarity. They both build large armies.
Yeah, they do. And speaking of large armies, like it's hard not to just respect the Russians for just accepting what they are as just being like, no, fuck you. We're gonna send men in until one of us loses. You know, like there's like war of attrition, motherfuckers. I'm trying to find this article, but Drudge updated their site for the day. But the response to Putin being issued an arrest warrant by the International Criminal Court. Did you see that?
Yeah, it's hilarious because I didn't realize this. I knew that Russia and China don't recognize it, but the United States hasn't ratified or recognized it. So
No,
that's kind of awkward.
So we don't get charged for war crimes. That's literally why we don't. So our generals don't get brought up on war crimes.
Okay, I got it now. I got it.
Yeah,
but they're cool with it because they'll just use our police force. It's fine. We'll do the dirty work, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. But this fucking Russian, it was Medvedev, the guy that was president for a little bit until Putin declared himself or got himself elected dictator for life.
Yeah, it was when Putin was getting his metal legs. He had to go on sabbatical for 2 months.
You know, like as much as I'm against this Ukraine deal, I have no qualm saying that Putin's just a real son of a bitch. I mean, he's how do you spell it? Medvedev.
He's a real cut and a half.
Yes, like just a super duper cunt. The worst of the worst. There we go. Medvedev court. But his response here, this Medvedev guy, which he honestly is probably worse than Putin. if you had to really put them side by side. Goddamn, I can't
see, and I know nothing about him. Because he was just there so briefly.
He's more of a hardliner than Putin, but he also knows when to keep his mouth shut because you know how the whatchamacallit, the authoritarian governments work. Yeah, if you step out of line, you get snipped real quick. And that's part of the reason why Russia's so terrible at fighting wars.
It's such a Nazi back in the 40s, like power struggle. Well, you know, like all those dudes did not want to be. Well, they thought if Hitler was there, nobody wanted to be Fuhrer, but they were all jockeying.
Right. I mean, but it's the same way with Stalin. I mean, probably even more so with Stalin because there's that old anecdote where like you didn't want to be the first person to stop clapping after Stalin got done speaking because you got shot. Like he just Stalin was just such a fucking paranoid son of a bitch that was anyway. So but this, like, I mean, just straight up respect of response because everybody knows the International Criminal Court is a fucking joke. It's always just like for posturing or just like trying to like it's like tattling on other nations when the International Criminal Court charges you with something. Unless you're from Africa, then they actually convict you. But they don't worry about you.
Fucking Matt. Ooh, that's fucking saucy, man.
Medvedev suggests possible rocket attack on the ICC in The Hague. Decision by the International Criminal Court in The Hague to issue an arrest warrant for Russian President Vladimir Putin could have dire consequences for international law, Russia's former president Dmitry Medvedev said on Telegram on Monday. He suggested that Russia could target the ICC courthouse with a hypersonic missile as a conceivable
Jesus.
Gentlemen, everyone walks under God and missiles.
Holy fuck.
It is quite possible to imagine the targeted use of a hypersonic Onyx missile by a Russian ship in the North Sea by the Hague court building, Medvedev stated. Unfortunately, it cannot be shot down. And the court is just a poor international organization, not the population of a NATO country. That's why they won't start a war. They are afraid, and no one will feel sorry for them, he continued. So judges of the court, look carefully at the sky.
Holy fuck. Okay. Nancy's missiles. Is this guy second in line if Putin croaks?
I think so.
Holy fuck, Jesus H. That's terrifying.
It is, but also like fucking respect, dude. Like that is
holy fuck.
You're gonna play hardball. Maybe don't play it with Russia, man. They don't give a fuck.
Did anything when was he I can't even remember what was the time frame he was leader of Russia. Was it Crimea time?
I think maybe so.
Okay, so he's not averse to invading countries either.
Oh no. He is actually more hardline than Putin is.
I can see.
Yeah. He's
holy
yeah.
Oh God.
And yeah, like it's a horrifying thought, but also I'm just like, God damn, if you want a strong man, there's your guy. Like that's a strong man if I ever heard one. If I was Russian, I'd be like, oh, fuck, I'll go fucking run through this wall right now.
Fuck, man. And then we have, I don't know what terrifies me more, Joe Biden or Kamala. I don't even know at this point what would be worse.
I got this video that Tim sent me.
Yeah.
Meme video of Kamala. And I've got I've got a question.
Okay. I know. Is it when she's doing her tricks?
Mm-hmm.
It's so fucking stupid.
You about to find out. You about to.
So, I was really kind of confused. Could you read the caption up there, Matt McKinley, for me?
It says when you ask her if she's ever done anything like this before, and then it's got a blushing face and 2 hot dog emojis.
So this kind of confused me because is it implying that she needs to be having sausages in her hands when she's giving blowjobs, or is she demonstrating how many hot dogs she could lodge in her throat? What?
Well, she's demonstrating how good she is with handling hot dogs. Because,
Oh god!
she slept her way to the top, essentially.
I
What
was
was
really confused.
Willie Brown in? Wasn't that the mayor of San Francisco or something like that? I think it was Willie Brown.
Downtown Willie Brown?
Something like that. Maybe was that his name?
Yeah, I don't know.
It sounds good though. I mean, if I was Willie Brown, I'd call myself downtown. But
We strive for accuracy.
yeah, I mean, we are a legit news source here. Daylight.
Banned. Mr. NSA Overlord, there is no way somebody could listen to the crap we spew and think this is actual serious.
For real. I
For
don't
reals.
know on my latest reel, but I've made 4 cents on Rumble, which is 4 cents more than I made on YouTube. So we are full on Rumble people now.
Dude, you are like you're $1. You're 96 cents away from buying my ring.
I'm getting real close.
So like what are the parameters of that? How many people have to be tuning in to get 4 cents on Tinder or Rumble or whatever?
I'm not for sure.
Okay.
Is it Grinder? That's the gay app.
Well, you better figure that out, McKinley.
No, Grinder is the gay app. That's why I threw it out there.
No, I mean the 4 cents. How's that come to be?
What's a 50-50 ad sharing deal, which means I probably had 7 ads shown or something like that. I don't know.
God, you're rolling. You're fucking rolling.
I'm a fucking baller.
Big swinging dick.
That's I even use that music. Baller shot on the Impala.
Oh God, what else is going on? I had so many things I was just so upset about, and the U.S. losing has really just thrown me off my game.
It also it makes my conspiracy spidey senses tingle. You know why?
Why?
You know how the Department of Defense is like heavily invested in Hollywood?
I did not know that.
Oh, you didn't? Oh yeah.
I mean, I assumed that some department had some sway over entertainment at some point.
Yeah, so like I don't think it's a real coincidence that that Top Gun was like the biggest movie of the summer.
Oh no, I can see it.
And, we just sent a bunch or we signed a deal to send a bunch of Patriot missiles to Japan, and Japan and China, or not China, but Japan and South Korea just like a little handshake agreement, and they're like Korea's like, hey, we're gonna forget about the whole slavery thing during World War II, as long as you got our back if China attacks us. And now Japan wins the World Baseball Classic. And it's like, man, is this all propaganda? Is this all fake? I don't know.
Can I bring up just one of the best things about the World Baseball Classic? China didn't win one fucking game. They lost to the Czech Republic. That was a bunch of teachers. I was like, fuck yeah.
You're not helping my conspiracy.
It was so awesome.
I know. I love it. I love every minute of it. Fuck, like not the Chinese people, but the government.
The government. Isn't it every time we say country, Here, disclaimer. Every time me and Matt say we hate a country, it's gonna be that government. It's gonna be.
France. Fuck France.
Except France. They're going nuts over there. I have a proposition
I know.
I thought about.
I don't even hate the French. I hate the French government. But also, like, I've heard the French are really fucking uppity, so I also kind of don't like them. But I'm not willing to go all the way to say fuck all the French just yet.
So, current news: Macron said he was going to raise the retirement minimum age to 64 from 62. Apparently, the unions really don't like that, so they're basically burning down France. And he faced a no confidence vote, and I guess it was close, but he passed it, so now he's going to enact it. I was just thinking, like, you know what? We are running out of money here. How about, we raise the age of retirement 2 years, save some money, but only for people like me. Like, if you're a farmer or a rancher or a doc or a nurse or a cop or a firefighter, no. Everybody else, cushy desk job, have at it. Give me 2 years. Fuck it.
I'm even further than that. Like, if you are over the age of 50, fine, we'll pay you out. But everybody else, just know that this shit is not going to be around. So don't even pay into it. Just like, it's done. Figure it out on your own, which is what you should have done in the first place. The government can't take care of your own fucking money for you. Like, they literally can't. They've proven it.
Ugh, thanks, Matt. Really brought down the fucking. No, I did. Not bad.
But it's funny is it wasn't so much that he would raise the retirement age. It was that he did it without the consent of Parliament.
Yes.
Did it unilaterally. And he survived his no confidence vote by 9 votes. So, yeah, it was a real nail biter, and he's I bet he's on some eggshells now.
Cool.
Yeah. And also China looks like a better diplomat than we do.
At least this go around.
Yeah, somebody like this whole time it's been Turkey and China playing diplomat in this Ukraine deal, and it's like we're supposed to be the shining city on the hill where like it's freedom and democracy, and like no, we just hit you with a fucking hammer or a Tomahawk missile or whatever anymore, and then like China's here like, hey, let's draw up a ceasefire. Zelensky's actually listening to him, and the U.S. says, nope, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. Man, dude, it's
if Zelensky is agreeing to this, okay,
but
it's your guys' country. Decide.
Right. Exactly, but it's not their country. It's about our war with Russia, and that's what it's about. And you're like, man, nobody wanted this fucking war except you idiots up there.
Oh God! And the U.S. lost the WBC.
Yeah. But we got Japan on our side, which is, it's weird how we fought Japan and Germany in World War II, and now they're like our closest allies our probably most important allies at this point is Germany and Japan.
Every time I hear Japan being a partner or an ally in some like U.S. thing, all I can think of is that Dave Chappelle when he was a black president, he was Black Bush. He's like, Japan sending PlayStation, son. Got the coalition.
Also, like, talk to any World War II vet that was in the Pacific Theater. We want them on our side.
So, like, okay, so when it comes to Japanese people, what do you think is the biggest, like, what's the biggest stereotype? Like a noun you would associate with Japan?
Anal.
thought you were gonna say blurt out cocks and porn. But
No,
like,
it's a double entendre. They're into some weird sexual shit, and also they're very particular.
I was gonna say samurai, right? That's
Oh.
a big Japanese stereotype, right? Samurai.
Yeah.
You know, it was so funny. I don't know why the announcers kept on calling them the Japanese samurai or samurai. Do they require that they say that on the broadcast? Because they said it a couple times, and I was like, oh, maybe there was one slip, but they said it several times.
Maybe he thought there was Chinese samurai because we're a bunch of whites over here, and we're not. Most of us are not real well read.
Oh, got it. It was just
Maybe I don't know.
the samurai of Japan that came up multiple fucking times.
Yeah, like there are no other samurai.
Right?
By definition, there are no other samurai.
Yeah. So it was just fucking weird.
Maybe. Well, I mean, Tom Cruise did make that movie. Is that a real thing?
The fucking Nick. And then you have Tom Hanks. I watched Team America today, and still I think the funniest rendition of like a celebrity in a movie or anything is fucking Matt Damon in Team America. And I thought they did it once. No, he is throughout the movie just popping in Matt Damon.
That's so funny. I don't know what the story was behind it, but then like as the internet became more of a thing, and you realize like Matt Damon's kind of a douche. I mean, he's a great actor, but you hear stories about him off stage and whatnot, and he is like a giant douche.
He sounds like the remember in Good Will Hunting, the Stanford D-bags. That's how I picture him being.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he's a great actor, but he is such a tool, and they nailed it. Maybe just because that they knew it from being in the Hollywood scene, I guess. But fucking nailed it long time ago. And I don't know, that's the Simpsons and South Park. They're like the modern day Nostradamus.
Matt, somebody was interviewing Trey Parker, and they were asking him like who had the best reaction to their portrayal on the show, and he says, well, it wasn't really one on the show, but it was Jennifer Lopez, because remember when him and Trey Parker when they went to some award show and was dressed in ladies' dresses
too,
and he wore J-Lo's dress, and so I guess he went to a party and like they locked eyes, and he's like, oh shit. And she walks over, and he kind of turns away, and she like shoves him and then walks away.
they were on acid on the red carpet.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, he wore Jennifer Lopez's dress. It's funny. It's like, I remember when the drag stuff used to be just funny shit like that, and not like kids story hour.
Well, you know what? And I'm questioning now too. You know me. Matt has seen me in numerous outfits of me dressed like a lady. Numerous.
I dressed up as Miss Canada for Halloween.
You did. Are we not is it not allowed anymore? Can we not do that anymore?
See, that's where you don't want the right-wing authoritarian to come in, because you're like, hey dude, it's a joke. I'm not coming after your kids, man. But also then you see a bunch of these fucking freaks reading the, I'm like, man, I would beat the shit out of that dude for reading to my kid in the thong. Like, I would go fucking postal.
And I'm sorry, this whole argument is bullshit. Because Matt can contest this. Me and my wife have been to numerous drag shows. Numerous. They're quite entertaining. I've had some friends in these drag shows. Like, not for my 4 and 6-year-old kid. Definitely not. There's adult things, and then there's kid things. And this is not one for kids. It's not.
No, it's not. And but also, like, you don't need to ban the thing altogether either.
No.
Like, just because there's a drag show doesn't mean you're trying to groom kids. Like, now, if you're encouraging kids to come, yes, that's where I draw the line. But it's a big thing in any, like, all male thing. Like, when you're doing some sort of talent show and there's nothing but dudes there, somebody has to dress up as a woman, and it turns. I mean, like, it's in the military. Like, it's just a common thing, man. But when you're, like, sexualizing it, which a lot of it is,
Yeah.
some of it's not, but a lot of it is.
That's drag. That's a drag show.
Yeah, and then you're inviting kids, or, like, you're reading to children. No, I got a big problem with that, man. I've got a big problem with that. I don't like if you're reading to a bunch of old folks. I don't give a shit, because they'll yell at you if they're upset.
You know what they should do? They should start a drag program with in drag where they read to people at retirement homes.
That's a better idea.
I
honestly.
would watch that every day.
They would have a more profound effect on society, because you'd break through to some old fucking curmudgeon that doesn't want to see any of that bullshit.
Who are actual homophobes.
I think we may have solved society.
Did we? Wow, that was quick.
I think the lefties have a good idea in principle, is catering to the way wrong audience. Like, inverse that. You're not the coming of age, it's the leaving of age.
Right.
That's who you talk to.
Man, 30,
who cares? They're gonna die soon anyways.
37 years, and we already solved it. Nice.
Oh, fuck, man, we should be president. we can get married and be co-president.
Can I just be in the background? Can I be your
You can be the
Dick Cheney?
No, we're not bombing Romania.
Why not? You said you were going to get me something nice for our anniversary, and you're backtracking on that.
So you'd have to be second man, though.
That just doesn't sound right, man. When I hear that on the news, I'm like, it sounds weird.
Oh, why the fuck did he open mouth kiss Jill Biden? Never solved that problem. Like, what was that all about?
Dude.
Going back to the Tim Instagram video, are you at least a little bit curious at how good Kamala is with her hands and or mouth? I'm curious.
What? I don't know.
I mean, if she slept her way to the top, she's got to be pretty decent, right? I mean, don't tell me you're not a little bit curious.
I don't know, man. She just does not do it for me. I never thought she was that good looking.
No, she's not that good looking, but she's also not that bad looking.
So maybe is it more talent than looks? Or is that your assumption?
We're definitely going off of talent.
Okay.
But also, like I'm saying, she's not bad looking. She's not hot by any means. It doesn't do it for me by any means, but she doesn't turn me off by her looks. It's the personality that really turns me off.
See,
The looks turn me off.
that's why he's open mouth kissing the first lady, because he's just tired of Kamala, and Joe doesn't know where the fuck he is. So
Yeah, Joe doesn't know where.
Dr. Jill is getting real lonely.
Dr. Jill's getting real saggy too. You know, like she's looking pretty old her own self.
What was our name for her? Didn't we have a name that I had mentioned, and we were going to refer to her as that from now on?
Probably. Oh, dude, I found one of the coolest things. Speaking of old and saggy stuff, you know how Nancy Pelosi's made a bunch of money off the stock market since she's been in Congress and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So there's this site called Unusual Whales. It's like unusualwhales.org, I think. It's one of the. It's not a .com. It's a something else. I think it's org. But they track all of the members of Congress and all their stock transitions.
Oh, you did tell me about this site.
Okay, well, so I found out something else. They have an app that is called autopilot.com, and you can pick all the corrupt motherfuckers. So, like, there's one for Pelosi, there's one for Crenshaw, there's one for Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Just has dirt on them or what?
Well, and it just tracks all of their public stock trades.
Oh, okay.
And it shows how much they're beating the market by. Pelosi
Oh, yes.
is plus 31% for the year.
Wow.
And then you can link it to your Robinhood account and automatically trade stocks based on all of your members of Congress.
Wow.
And you will, like, if you have it set to the Nancy Pelosi tracker, you would have made 30% this year. And you don't it's fucking wild. And so, yeah, next paycheck, I'm gonna dump a bunch of money in and, like, fuck it. If they're gonna make money, I'm gonna make money. I don't give a shit, dude.
Oh man, dude, the stock market is never gonna go down. That's why we can't even use it as a tool to see where the economy's at anymore, because of shit like that.
Yeah, it's fucking wild, dude. And then, you remember our parents had to deal with mortgages in the 80s when interest rates were like 15%, 18%, 20%.
My dad had like 23, I think.
Yeah. The federal interest rate wasn't even 3% yet, I don't think. And or they raised it what, like almost 2% in a year.
I don't know.
And we already saw a couple banks fail and a whole bunch on the brink. And so they're like, I wouldn't be surprised if they lower it back down to.
I don't even know what to fucking believe, because literally you have economists all across the spectrum that are like, oh, this is a big deal. Oh, this is a big deal. And even on networks too, you have two economists saying big deal, no deal. You flip on the other channel, you say big deal, no deal. Like, I have no idea what the fuck's going on. I mean,
either.
My economics background kind of tells me it's not great, but fuck, I don't know to what extent. I don't fucking know.
Well, from what I've read, and I read a lot of Ron Paul type people.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Federal Reserve.
Well, there's a reason that he harps on it so much, because it's the whole reason. Like, it's the reason that the government can borrow money from this Federal Reserve, which is controlled by the government, but not. It's still a private institution, but the heads
allegedly.
The heads of it are appointed by by the president, and they control the interest rates for the entire country instead of individual banks setting their own interest rates. And the reason they do that is they can finance a whole bunch of shit like these huge social welfare funding programs or wars or whatever fucking government program they can. As long as the interest rate is low, the government can borrow that money at a very cheap rate. And then, it's good. They don't have to tax as much. But eventually, especially thanks Nixon, Republican, by the way, Republican, conservative, fiscal conservative Republican, took us off the gold standard. So then our currency is tied to the petrodollar, meaning that every barrel of oil in the world is traded in the US dollar. And that's what gives our currency its value instead of gold like it was before 1971. So the more money that the government borrows and spends, the less the dollar is actually worth. And that's why we got to fight all these fucking wars around the world to keep all these Middle Eastern people in line and Ukraine in line so that people keep buying our oil in the US dollar. Say Saudi Arabia starts selling their oil to China and accepting the yuan instead of the dollar for their oil,
which it looks like they're going to do.
Which means US dollar is not worth a whole lot. And this is all started with the Federal Reserve. So,
did you see Janet Yellen testify the other day? I sent you something on Instagram that I thought was quite interesting. Look for her bob haircut. Look for it.
Fucking that little troll. He's like the definition of a troll.
She lives under a bridge, folks.
You sent it on Instagram?
I did. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, okay. It's back a ways. All right. I thought you just said.
Well, it's just crazy too. She says this, but there's just no reaction from the public. Just like the Nord Stream 2 shit, that died down.
Yeah.
Is this how conspiracy theorists start out?
Into the big banks. We have seen the mergers of banks over the past decade. I'm concerned you're about to accelerate that by encouraging anyone who has a large deposit in a community bank to say, we're not going to.
All right, so what he's asking here is when these banks failed, the government stepped in and said the FDIC will ensure the depositors of these banks 100%. Silicon Valley Bank only had 5% of clients that had less than the $250,000 cap on FDIC. So 95% of those banks were the accounts were like Gavin Newsom and all these Silicon Valley startups and people who probably paid a lot of money in lobbying. Roku had $487 million.
Holy shit!
In one account.
God.
Fucking account.
Going to make you whole. But if you go to one of our preferred banks, we will make you whole at that point.
But I mean, that's certainly not something that we're encouraging.
That is happening right now.
That is happening because depositors are concerned about the bank failures that have happened and whether or not other banks could also
No,
fail.
it's happening
And
because you're fully insured no matter what the amount is. If you're in a big bank, you're not fully insured if you're in a community bank.
Well, you're not fully insured. And
Right.
Yes.
So what is your plan?
We're working on a depression here.
Fuck, man. Fuck.
Yeah. our banking system. But you know they're it's just built on a house of cards. I mean, like they only there was a run on the bank for like a day and a half on that Silicon Valley Bank before the FDIC stepped in and said, "All right, we're taking it over."
Dude, the regulators are trash too, man. They gotta be. God, dude.
Especially, I mean, just look at the entire Biden administration. It's a bunch of old, like, kind of they were
Bald white guys with lipstick.
Well, there's that. But you got like a bunch of like the Clinton types that are just like, let's go fucking bomb everybody, and then the rest of them are like diversity hires.
Well, with the Clinton reference, bomb and murder. Did you?
Yeah.
Did you see? There's something going around. Some Clinton aide was found shot and hung from a tree with a cord, and somehow they said this was suicide.
Well, I mean,
the
only logical solution, Aaron.
I've seen. I don't know if it's real, but I've seen it a couple times.
I gotta pee. Let's
let me find that for you.
All right, sounds good. Move your ass. We're burning daylight, and fuck Japan, even best allies in the Asian theater. Fuck Japan.
They're bringing Sony PlayStations.
Mike Trout, this is why you'll never be an all-time great.
Oh, fuck. Burn. Gosh, damn.
Tell me how I'm wrong.
You're not wrong. You're just an asshole.
Well, fuck him.
Fuck.
You rise up in the morning beneath the stars so bright. Pull your hat down, make sure your cinch is tight. Horse is kinda snuffy, cold chill up your spine. You'll get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight. Burning daylight. Burning daylight. In the saddle till the job's done right. Burning daylight. Well, life is just a gather, and you won't catch 'em all. But when you ride through the gate, make sure you sit up tall. I can see the horizon, it's looking pretty bright. Well, get your ass moving, son, we're burning daylight. Burning daylight. Burning daylight. In the saddle till the job's done right.